On today's Outback menu, I cook up a tasty lunch for the Kakadu Park Rangers.
All right, I hope you like Loomi. Give it a go.
I tracked down an urban cafe oasis where they serve up delicious gourmet toasties.
It tastes like a chicken and leek pie. Creamy, a little bit of bacon. That is so yummy.
And I whip up a tropical snack at a stunning waterfall.
It's so deep, the water, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about 90 foot deep in the plunge pool here.
I'm here in Kakadu, Australia's largest national park. It's a place full of amazing landscapes, diverse wildlife and ancient cultures.
Now, if you're going to travel to Kakadu, chances are you might go past Ubia. Ubia is just behind me in the distance, and it's not only famous for its incredible rock art, but also the vista, the view that you get from on top of the rock is outstanding. And I thought it would be the perfect backdrop for a very simple recipe, a recipe that really shows off salty and sweet. And I'm going to show you a few natives to garnish it. Some macadamias and this. This is incredible. This is a finger lime, and it's almost like the caviar of the fruit and veggie family. When you cut into this gorgeous variety of lime, you'll see all these little bubbles. That is a pop of flavour. It's so bitter, and it's going to go fantastically with the pawpaw. Now, you'll need some halloumi. I'm using some nice Greek-style halloumi that I'll cut into quite chunky pieces, about 2 centimetres thick, and I've been preheating my pan. You want the pan to be on a medium heat so we get a gorgeous crust on the halloumi. I've also added some olive oil, and you want to give that about 1 to 2 minutes on each side. Keep an eye on it. As soon as it's golden, turn it. Now for the pawpaw, beautiful ripe pawpaw. I've taken out the black seeds and I'll just peel it. Pawpaw is one of those things that you could eat when it's unripened for a really crunchy salad, a Thai-style salad, or like this. I love the flavour of it. It's got that serious tropical flavour. Slightly unusual to go with the halloumi, but I promise you it works so well. So I'm going to cut that into chunks. And then I want to dress this with some flavours. So because we are using these finger limes as a garnish, I need some juice. So I'll get a good old lime, cut that in half, and we'll just squeeze that over the pawpaw. I'll also add some honey to accentuate the sweetness. And then give that a toss just with your hands. And look how shiny it goes just from adding that small amount of honey. Now, these are ready to turn, so just with a little palette knife, turn them. Look how golden they are. Yes, that's what I'm looking for, that golden crust. All right, so once they've turned, we're going to give them another minute on that side. Here's a little fun fact. All of this land behind us floods in the wet season. I was speaking to one of the locals from the Buddhage clan from this area, and he was saying that bull sharks even come all the way up here, 90 kilometres from the sea. All right, let's start serving this up. I'm going to add the pawpaw, the glossy pawpaw, into the plate. Just spread it around. Very slippery. Look at that contrasting colour, just gorgeous. And now I'll add a few sprigs of oregano, just some fresh oregano. You could use dried for this recipe too, and just spread it around. Just tear it with your fingers. And now for this gorgeous halloumi. It's soft in the centre, crunchy on the outside, not too squeaky. And we'll just place it in and around the fruit. Now, when you're making a salad like this, you've always got to take into consideration some texture. So I'm going to get texture from these lovely macadamia nuts. I'll just finely chop them. I've toasted them so we get a nice nutty flavour from them. And we'll just sprinkle that over the dish. And finally, the finger lime. Look at these small threads of finger lime. And what you do, just with the tip of your knife, is just scrape them over the top. You really don't need much of this to taste it. Another great way to get them out is just to squeeze them. And look at that, look at that gorgeous pale pink colour. Love this. And just sprinkle it over. Now this morning I was lucky enough to go to Ubbia and see the gorgeous rock art and the fantastic view. And you know what? This place is so pristine because so many people look after it. So I think I should share this with some of the rangers that make it all happen. All right, I hope you like halloumi. Give it a go. Sit down. Now that I'm closer to the rock, I can see why it's called Mushroom Rock. Yeah, it looks exactly like the mushroom. What do you think? Did you have it? We've got to have it with the pawpaw and the finger lime. It's so good. How good is it? Because it's so bitter, and then the really salty cheese. Then it goes sweet. Delicious. Go for it. Take the plate. Take the plate.
I'm on my way to Catherine, known as the place where the outback meets the tropics. My first stop is the Black Russian Caravan Bar. I've heard they make delicious toasties, and I'm keen to get my hands on one.
Hello. Famous Black Russian.
How you going?
I've heard so much about the Caravan Bar.
Thank you for coming.
So everyone tells me to come here for a coffee in Catherine. Yes. It's better than anywhere else.
Yes.
And you're famous for your toasties. What kind of toasties do you have?
So I'd probably recommend the creamy chicken, bacon and leek, which imagine a pie but put into a toasty. So then we've got our spin on the Reuben. And then probably the Philly cheesesteak.
Well, I'm definitely going to have one of those toasties. And what about all these sweets? What have you got here? Yum.
So these are all of our gourmet cakes. So you've got our jumbo muffin here with Nutella, white chocolate, raspberries and pistachio.
Oh my God.
Then you have our jumbo brownie here with flake and white chocolate Tim Tams, banana and maple bread, which we are famous for, and our gourmet pastries at the top.
Well, if you're famous for that, I'm definitely going to have one of those, a toasty and a coffee, and then you just have to wheel me out of here afterwards because I'm going to be very full.
Not a problem.
Thank you so much. Look at this spread. I don't know how we're going to finish this. A lot of food. Amazing. Now, I really love what you've done here. Where did you get that cute caravan from?
We actually had it custom made down in the Gold Coast by a company called the Original Woody Caravan.
It looks like there's not much room in there, but in there you make all of these toasties. Which toasties should I try first?
Definitely the creamy chicken, bacon and leek.
I just had a taste of that. Oh, it's so delicious. Perfect crunch on the outside. It's so moist. And look at that, gooey chicken and cheese. Oh.
It's essentially almost like a pie, but in a toasty, so. Very messy.
You're right. It tastes like a chicken and leek pie. Creamy, a little bit of bacon. That is so yummy. When you started this in Catherine, were you a little bit hesitant to do it? Were you scared it wasn't going to work?
I certainly was, hence why I did pick something being mobile, just in case it wasn't received by the community well, but fortunately enough, it was.
Brogan, this is awesome.
Thank you.
In an outback town like Catherine, it's great to see young entrepreneurs like Brogan bringing something a little different to the local food scene.
If anyone is visiting or driving through Catherine, you've got to come to the Black Russian Caravan Bar. It's epic. And come and say hi to Brogan. She's going to have another place open in, what, a couple of months?
Yes.
Soon.
Yep. Very soon.
I'm just going to have to come back and try.
You certainly are.
it's somewhere I've always wanted to come, and you can see why. It's such a beautiful, majestic place. It's this gorgeous natural swimming pool in Nipmuc National Park, about 60 kilometres away from Katherine. And it's always a nice idea to come here in the early morning when it's a little cooler and when there's less people. So I thought it was only appropriate that I make a delicious breakfast item. This is going to be a pineapple and banana trifle with a lemon myrtle yogurt. I always like to flavour my own yogurts because you can control how sweet you make it and what flavours you add to it. So some classic Greek yogurt. In here, I'll add some lemon myrtle. It's a native leaf that's been cold dried and then ground. So I'll add about half a teaspoon in there, along with some passion fruit. I love the tang of passion fruit. So I'll cut that in half. And then I'll just squeeze out all of those yummy seeds, and then I'll give it a mix. And I'll also have a taste of it. All right. That is so sweet. So let's put that to the side. While we get onto another component of this trifle, we need texture in here, so some crunch. And I'm going to get that from some good old digestive biscuits you can get from all your supermarkets. Place it in a Ziploc bag just like this. And now using something heavy to crush this, I'm going to use a pan. Just break it up until we've got some crumbs. And we'll put the pan on the heat, on a medium heat. These are just coconut flakes that you get from your supermarket, but you can also do this with fresh coconut. You could also do it with desiccated coconut. So we'll add that first, a nice handful, along with our digestive biscuits. Just pour them in. Toss that around. To bring out the flavours of this, I'll add a pinch of salt. And then just to accentuate that flavour of the lemon myrtle, I'll add another pinch of that to our crunch. All right, while that's happening, let's get on with the syrup that's going to coat all of our tropical vegetables. So in a bowl, I'll add some sugar syrup. This is just a combination of caster sugar and some water. I've brought it to the boil, and then once it's boiled and thickened up just ever so slightly, I've taken it off and cooled it down. So I'll add that to a bowl. And for some flavours, some ginger. I love ginger. The best way to peel ginger is to grab a teaspoon and just use it to take away that thin, papery skin. Now using a fine grater, I'll grate that in to our sugar syrup. Perfect. And the zest of half a lime. I'll also use some of the juice of this lime. So we'll cut that in half. And I only need half of this lime. Squeeze that into the bowl. Perfect. All right, now some lemongrass. All of the flavour in the lemongrass is in this section of the stalk. It's so aromatic. It does have that citrus balmy flavour, and the best way to use it, particularly in this context, is to finely grate it so it's not too fibrous. And I want about half a teaspoon. All right, I'm going to just toss this crunch. I can smell it toasting away. It's looking good. The last thing I'll add to this sugar syrup is some cayenne pepper. Sounds very bizarre to add some heat to this, but by adding the cayenne pepper, it works so nicely with the pineapple and will accentuate its sweetness. So you just need the smallest amount. All right, sugar syrup is flavoured. We'll put that to the side. And now just for some chopping of the pineapple, I want this to be super fine so we can really see the distinction in all the layers. So I'll finally chop the pineapple and also some banana. All right, now let's give that a mix. Coat that in all the ginger and the lemongrass, the cayenne pepper. All right, so we've got our fruit salad component done, the yogurt is done, and have a look at this digestive biscuit and coconut crunch. Look how toasted it is. That is fantastic. And now to assemble this, I like to start with the fruit salad. We'll pop that in there, getting some of those juices. Then I'll add some of the coconut crunch. And our lemon myrtle yogurt. And then I'll continue that process. The local Indigenous people call this place Leigh, and I was speaking to one of the locals recently and they were telling me how much the water rises in the wet season. That sheer amount of water, I tell you what, it would be amazing to be here in the wet season to see that waterfall in action and all of that water cascading down. It would be unbelievable. All right, to finish off this beautiful trifle, some more yogurt over the top. And depending on what type of glass you use, you can do many different layers for this. And then finally, some crunch over the top. And just to keep it really fresh and vibrant, some mint, a few leaves I'll pick off. And just tap it in your hands, and by doing that, we're releasing some of the oils, then break it up instead of chopping it, and just pop that on the top. All right, that's my trifle, brekkie trifle. It's a lovely way to start the day. This is the perfect setting for this gorgeous brekkie, just before I start a big day of swimming and hiking near the Edith Falls. I'm a lucky lady, aren't I? So Chris, during the wet season, how far will the water go up along that escarpment over there?
Okay, so you're looking at a probably rise of about 2 or 3 metres in this plunge pool during the peak of the wet season. Then during the dry season, it drops down to a very similar level to what we've got now. And that's when we can start doing our crocodile surveys to open this area to allow it open to swim.
So people come here for camping, bushwalk, obviously a great swim, you feel quite safe here.
That's right.
It's so deep, the water, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about 90 foot deep in the plunge pool here, but there are some nice little quiet areas where children and non-swimmers can get into the water and have a great day as well.
I've had such a great day here at Edith Falls, just walking around this picturesque place. I just never want to leave. And when I'm on holidays or on a big adventure like this, there's nothing better to finish off the day than with a sundowner's glass of wine and a canapé. So I'm going to show you a super easy canapé that I love to do on the road using some canned salmon. It works a treat. This is very similar to a salmon rillette, and I picked up these blinis, which you can find at most grocery stores now. You can also put this on a cracker. Now, to bind the rillettes, I'm going to add a combination of yogurt, mayonnaise, and some avocado. Usually when you're doing a rillette, you would do this with some fat that comes from the fish or some olive oil or even butter. But I'm going to keep it a little healthier by using some avocado. It works nicely and it does bind it. So half an avocado, look at that. Avocados up here are fantastic. And with my knife, I'm going to make some incisions. This is just going to give me a helping hand with chopping it, and crisscross pattern all the way down into the avocado. Use a nice ripe avocado for this. Then we'll scoop it out and pop it into the bowl. And with a fork and a pinch of salt, I'm going to puree this so it's really fine. Break it up. I don't want it to be too chunky because the texture of these rillettes is going to come from the fish. Now we'll add some lemon. I just need half of this lemon, and I'll cut this in half, and I'll use just a small amount of the juice. Squeeze that in, perfect. To this I'll add some onion. This is white onion. I like to use the white onion because it's not as intense as a brown onion. You could also use some French shallot, and then some mustard, Dijon mustard. And we'll mix that. Now for those other binding agents, some mayonnaise, a spoonful, and then some Greek-style yogurt. This will just lighten it up and also give it a tang. Yum. Now it looks like guacamole at the moment, but it will change when I add the salmon and just drain it quite well. I don't want too much of the liquid in there. And a second can of salmon. take away that liquid and we'll discard that. And then into the bowl, we'll add the salmon, just holding those chunks at this stage because I want to have control of how I flake this because I want some bits to be quite chunky and some bits to be fine. So I'll take away that spoon and I'll use my fork again just to break it up and then fold it through. And then break it up again and keep mixing it until it starts to thicken. This is looking quite good, so I don't need to add any more yogurt or mayonnaise. I'll have a taste. It's so good with that yogurt. It's tangy and the crunch of those onions, brilliant. All right, we'll put that to the side. Now for the blinis, I'm just going to warm these up for about 1 to 2 minutes on each side and then we can start plating this up. Okay, these blinis are nicely warmed up. They've softened. So now let's start plating this up. I'll just grab this plate, I put a little piece of bark on the base. And then I'll just grab 2 teaspoons and make small quenelles. Look, they don't have to be perfect. You can just dollop it on. And then we'll just pop that on top. Really happy with the way these have turned out. Looks so good. Now I got my hand on some Thai basil, so I'll use just the small little leaves just to garnish on the top. And every second one I'll garnish with some coriander. You don't have to make it a French style rillettes. You can push the borders and make it slightly fusion. So you have it, salmon rillettes, Northern Territory style. I love the simplicity of this. I'm gonna have a taste of it. It's been a very relaxing day, even more relaxing now with a gin and tonic by Edith Falls and homemade canapes. I'm in heaven. They are beautiful.